Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. It's been a busy week at the Arkansas State Capitol as legislators discussed and tackled the Arkansas Learns bill. It's Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' signature education reform plan. The 144-page bill was officially introduced earlier this week. The committee debated the bill for nearly 5 hours. Those in favor of the bill say they're all ready for the next steps on this, while those opposed say they simply need more time to look at things.
It is my honor to present to this committee the single largest investment in public schools that Arkansas has ever seen.
I would love to see a delay on the vote so we have more time to go home and talk to our principals, teachers, superintendents. I had a lot of questions I wasn't able to get to today.
Well, that full Senate vote is set for today at 11 o'clock. All right, before we get to other top news of the day, let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe. We're tracking some colder weather in store for your Thursday. Really chillier weather here to close out the work week compared to the spring-like 60s and 70s that we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, we had the spring thunderstorms and showers in the first half of the day. Again, we are on the backside of a cold front now. Colder air has been spilling in. Started out the day 20s and 30s northwest Arkansas. That was 35 to 40 degrees colder than where we were Wednesday morning. We've got a chance for a few spotty sprinkles later on this afternoon. You kind of saw it there. Scattered clouds to start the day. Some sunshine mixes in. A batch of clouds will work through as we go into the afternoon hours. Maybe enough moisture on the backside of this front still lingering across our southern half. Can't roll out a sprinkle. We may actually see a lot of it evaporating as that batch of clouds comes in, evaporating before it reaches the surface. But again, colder air spilling in, drier air spilling in. I'm going to go ahead and keep us dry in northwest Arkansas. Late day sprinkle can't be rolled out or a stray, very light shower, brief shower in the River Valley off towards the south. Yeah, what a big change from yesterday to today. Again, we were ranging easily 30 to 35 degrees colder in the River Valley from Wednesday morning to this morning. Today, we're looking at highs in the 40s to 50s across the area, and again that 10% chance of a sprinkle. We'll look for another chilly night, widespread 20s and 30s, scattered clouds going into Friday, and Friday we'll start that climb, warming up, a slow process through the weekend into early next week. We'll have a chance of some afternoon, evening showers, and then really a rain chance lingers through the weekend, Joe, with the chance maybe a few stronger thunderstorms late Sunday night, something we'll have our eyes on the next several days.
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. Well, Mauricio Torres will spend the rest of his life in prison without parole. This sentence came down from a Benton County jury. You remember he was convicted of capital murder and battery in the first degree late last week. The jury spent Tuesday afternoon and an hour on Wednesday morning deciding the fate of Torres, a man they convicted guilty of killing his 6-year-old son Isaiah back in 2015. This was Torres's third trial and the third time he has been convicted of capital murder. During his first trial, he was sentenced to death, but the Arkansas Supreme Court overturned that conviction. During his second trial, a mistrial was called. Now, this third trial started almost 2 weeks ago with the jury reaching a verdict last Thursday. Prosecutor Nathan Smith was hoping for the death penalty, while the defense says they're happy with the sentence Torres received.
I believe and still believe that Mauricio Torres deserves the death penalty for the abuse, the torture, and the murder of his son. Ultimately, that is up to the jury. I'm disappointed in their verdict, but it is their verdict.
We're very gratified by the jury's decision. We know they worked hard and they're coming to their conclusion. We worked hard, the prosecutors worked hard, and we're just very gratified it came out this way.
Now, Torres' attorneys says they will be filing an appeal. He also received 20 years in prison for the battery and the first-degree conviction, which is the maximum sentence. Now, we're also following updates this morning in efforts to bring Neil Mehta back to Arkansas to face criminal charges. The FBI says they found homemade explosives inside of his Fort Smith home. He was arrested earlier this month in Austin, Texas, after investigators say he took off when he learned of the raid on his home. Mehta is still being held this morning in the Williamson County Jail, but will soon be extradited back to Arkansas. The FBI shared these photos of explosives they say they found inside of his home in late January. Investigators believe he fled to Texas, where he was arrested about a week later. Court documents also reveal Mehta lied to a neighbor to get a ride when the FBI was searching his home, and his family helped him to evade law enforcement. It's not clear yet, though, when Mehta will be extradited back to the state. Well, this morning, we now know the FAA is investigating the packing of the main and reserve parachutes of a woman who died while skydiving in Sallisaw this past weekend. 44-year-old Poto woman Heather Glasgow died in the accident at Adventure Skydiving Center in Sallisaw. Authorities say Glasgow hit the ground after an unknown issue took place during a solo jump. Witnesses said that they watched as her parachute had fully deployed, but that she went into a spin from which she could not recover. And tomorrow night, Northwest Arkansas is holding an event to honor Ukraine. This event is called an Evening of Peace, Love, and Support. It will be at the Arkansas Arts Academy High School in Rogers. It'll start at 5 p.m. and will go until 8. It's free and anyone is invited to participate. Organizers say this event will establish a people-to-people exchange between students in Arkansas and students in Ukraine. Organizers of the event are partnering with Saved, an organization dedicated to rebuilding schools destroyed in the war. Well, all month long, we've been celebrating Black History Month here at 5 News. The Washington County Historical Society hosted the U of A Chancellor as a part of its Black History Month activities. Dr. Charles Robinson is the first Black Chancellor at the university. 5 News' Rachel Williams tells us he spoke about his plans for the university.
And we felt strongly that this would be a good coming out party for him tonight to come and speak, especially during Black History Month, as he is the first Black African American to lead the University of Arkansas and also one of the very few African Americans to lead a land-grant university in the United States of America.
Dr. Robinson leads the university's land-grant mission, which provides research-based programs and resources for residents across the state.
And so if the idea or if the mission is service, then we have to make sure we're doing everything we can to maximize our serving of the people of this state.
In his speech, he talked about improvements in freshman enrollment, parking issues, and most importantly, creating a plan to keep costs under control so the university can strengthen the ability of students who come from lower income households.
No student who has the ability and has demonstrated success in high school should be denied the opportunity to attend because they can't afford. That's something we need to work on, and there are lots of ways that we intend to approach it.
Although the chancellor made history at the U of A, he wants to make his mark in a different way.
The history that matters to me is the history that changes lives. And so I think we are going to create that history. I do think it says something about the University of Arkansas when a person of color can rise to its highest position. It says that we're an institution that values people who work hard, who are willing to, do what they need to do to be successful.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for some of your top stories on this Thursday. Make sure to catch up with us again tomorrow, right here for more.